Hi, it's Colette. Welcome to my channel, and this is the weekly tarot card for the week commencing Monday, the 25th of June 2018. And it's the Four of Cups, and in Roderick deck it looks absolutely lovely. We've got luxury on it, and a big sort of swirl with beautiful colours in it, and cups down at the bottom. So initially this looks like a really good card, but it can be good if you can appreciate what you've got, but if you can't, then the negative side of this card comes into force. So I'm just going to go with that first. There's two aspects that are negative to this card that I perceive. One is very much Roderick's aim, and the other one might be me with what I see. But the first thing is, yes, it's called luxury, and it's absolutely beautiful. But the whole point of this card is that sometimes luxury or having too many things or things go too well for you can lead to a feeling of dissatisfaction. Like, what's life about? So, the tarot has a card for everything that happens in life. The whole of life is in those 78 cards. So yes, there is one that represents when we've tried for something, we've got it, and then life's given us something else, or maybe we've gone from dire circumstances to being okay and getting there a wee bit, and then this feeling kicks in as well. Is this it? And you hear a lot of this, like pop stars or film stars, people that have really gone to the top and they've got every bit of luxury that they can imagine. And the more luxury they have, the more they want. And they buy their Rolls Royces and they buy their Rolexes, and they get to a stage where they don't really appreciate what they have because it's meaningless, because they could buy another 100 of them. And in my, I've read for a lot of clients, a lot of famous people, a lot of politicians, and a lot of very, very, very wonderful businessmen and millionaires. Now, they seem to reach a stage in their life where they've accrued as much as they can. It's not proven to make them happier. And then they go into this very wonderful phase of philanthropy and giving money away and going back to eating very very naturally. They go back to not interested in things for themselves, but it turns around and it becomes things for others, or things they can do for others with their wealth and with their money. And that's the good side of this card, to actually kind of say, well, I've got everything I want now. And instead of striving for more of the same, or more money, or more experiences for yourself, this card can give you the turning point that says, now what can I do for someone else? And I think this card is so important in the materialistic world that we live in at the moment. And I hope you agree, because the wealth out there is really, really in the top 1% of the world. And the other 99%, some are doing okay, others are in dire poverty. So we need some of the 1%, or those that are doing okay, to literally try and say, okay, I've got enough now, what can I do elsewhere? And this card brings those feelings up, not the feelings of being altruistic, but the feelings of, what's it all about? I've done this, I've done that, I've reached this level, I've got that job, I've got that car, or even that I've got the family set up I thought I wanted. And then it can bring such dissatisfaction where luxury means nothing. In fact, it becomes a very negative, encapsulating mindset, always needing more. If you look at a lot of the suicides that have been in the news recently, not the ones to do with really bad mental health, but those who have appeared to have everything and have not really been shown to be depressed, but they've had enough. And if you look at their lives, people looking at their lives would say, oh God, they've got a great life, that's perfect, I would aspire to that. yet these people are truly not happy once they've accrued all that. So this card brings a feeling of trying to be contented with what you've got, whatever level you're at. And also, if you do have more, then you don't need another handbag. You don't need that watch. You don't need that suit. What you need is to be okay in yourself, to acknowledge where you are, and then maybe help other people with it. So that's one of the aspects. Sorry I'm going on about this card, but it's one of the road egg deck that looks amazing. But actually and it is amazing because it shows that a person has got there to a certain extent, but then what next? Now the other aspect is, if you look, there's 3 cups standing at the bottom together and then another cup away at the other side of the card. And that brings in the aspect of little groups of people or cliques getting on with stuff, and some people feeling like outsiders, or although they don't belong. So this week it's important to be aware of people who are isolated, and if you're isolated yourself, reach out to that group or reach out to another group or a help forum or someone that can help you. Remember, we've got 3 cups standing, cups are emotions, and we've got 1 away over here, far away. If you see someone isolated, put the hand of friendship out to them. And if you're the isolated one, you're feeling cut off, then it's time not to keep yourself isolated, but actually put your hand out for help. So that's the big meaning of the card, and you think, well, how does that affect us in the day-to-day things? I realise that most of my clients aren't, I don't have clients anymore, but most of my subscribers and people that watch this are not multimillionaires. Some of them have barely enough to get by every month, and you know, you might think, well, I'd love to get to the stage where I can feel great about my life or dissatisfied because I've got almost too much. I understand that. So pare the card back and think to yourself, in your situation, if you have a roof over your head, if you have a computer that you're watching this on, if you have a pound in your purse, then you are richer than something like 96% of the rest of the world. And I'm not saying if you're struggling that's a good place to be. It's not. But we have to look at our lives in perspective and look at what we've got. Be thankful, and yes, strive to better yourself or strive to get there with more finances, stuff like that. But also be very thankful for the situation that you find yourself in now, because it can always be improved. And life, as I've seen, can take us up the way, down the way, vast happiness, vast trauma and sadness. If you're okay just now, then let's have some blessings for simply being okay. Right, how does it affect career? In career, we go back to the 3 cups standing, 1 over here, and it can mean that you actually are feeling a bit isolated and not part of the situation in the week ahead. And I know because of the emails I've had recently and some of the messages that this is resonating. There's a lot of people that have jobs that are now not feeling part of them. They maybe thought they were the best job going and now they're totally disillusioned with them. That's this card. And I don't know really what to say on this matter because it's a very personal thing. You may choose to try and get yourself back towards that job and integrate it again, but you may feel this isolation and say, use this card as a springboard to look for something else. And with it, there's really no, the aspect of isolation, there's really no particular right or wrong here. It's personal. So if you're feeling isolated, have a wee think on it and then make sure that you're kind of strong in what you decide to do, and then do it. And then stand by that decision come what may, because you made that decision based on the the information you have now, and therefore if you do that with a good heart, it can't be wrong. Do you see what I mean? It has to be right for you. So either integrate or dissociate. If we look at health, this can bring in sort of isolation, and it can make people with hearing problems feel more isolated. It can make people with mental health problems feel more isolated. The gut, I actually see this as a bit like the gut as well, and it asks you to look after gut health. So, it's about isolation. It's about trying to look after yourself and not feel isolated within whatever disease process you have. And it also says, how about some probiotics and look after your gut? If we look at love, again, you could be sitting without a partner this week and thinking, everybody's getting married, everybody's having babies, oh my God, what about me? That's perfectly normal with this card. And that isn't really, that's a situation when I'm not saying, well, look at what you've got because it's damn good and blah, blah, blah. If you're really feeling that emotionally, there are things. I remember after I was away from my first husband, I had an event to go to, a family event that I'd only ever gone to as part of a couple. And although it was my family, it was a graduation, all my family were there, my friends were there, and I was there with my daughters. But it struck me that felt like the only person that was there without a partner. And it actually was a very, very hard celebration to get through. Although people were nice and certainly it was a wonderful celebration, I remember feeling quite cut off and even a bit lonely. So if you feel that way, relationship-wise, be nice, pamper yourself, treat yourself, have what you want this week. If you're feeling isolated and a wee bit sorry for yourself, that's part of this card that says, well, why not have a little bit of luxury? You see, the card can be seen in different ways. And in this particular situation, it's saying, go to Marks and Spencer's, get your Prosecco, get your cheesecake and your chocolate buttons. They were the three things that saved me after a divorce. Marks and Spencer's, it wasn't Prosecco, sorry, it was another Italian wine, Spumante, Moscato Spumante, cheesecake and chocolate buttons. They were the things that got me through a divorce. So there's a bit of information. Thank you, Marks and Spencer's. That was a bit of luxury. There were times when I was feeling the way this card was, that there was nothing I could do to integrate. And yes, I was comfort eating, and it obviously had some sort of effect. But if you do things in moderation, it's okay. So if you're feeling the outsider as such this week in love, just be nice to yourself. And if you're in a long-term relationship, use this card to not keep up with the neighbours or the Joneses. You don't need to look at other people and say, oh, they've got their house done that way, or, oh God, they've got a new bathroom in, we need to do it too. Look around you and say, do you know what? We're fine. We've got all the luxury we need for the moment. So that's the other side of the card if you're in a long-term relationship. Financially, there's the wee warning there. Don't overcommit. Don't buy luxury for luxury's sake. Do you want the $500 bag, designer bag, or $1,000 bag, but with nothing in it? Or how about having a middle-of-the-road bag with things that you enjoy in it? Sometimes people overstretch themselves for the label or for that feeling of luxury. And believe me, that feeling of luxury does not last. Does not last. Many years ago, when I met my first husband, he bought me a Louis Vuitton bag, and I really liked them, but I never thought I would get one. But he got me one for a special birthday, and I've worn it twice. And it's actually because it's a wee bit too small for my needs, but also it feels almost a wee bit too, too showy. And, you know, for all of you with your Louis Vuitton bags, that's fine, you go and enjoy them. But what I mean is, after a while, does that bag give you as much pleasure as maybe the thought of it was, or the excitement of maybe saving up for it? You know, you know what I'm getting at. So as I say, I have the bag that my husband gave me is more precious to me because of what it symbolises, of that love of, you know, this is me, I want to make my life with you, here's something you've wanted, or something I thought I wanted. It's more precious for the love it represents rather than the label on it. So financially, don't go for luxury if it's overstretching yourself, and also think what else that money could be used for, and maybe bring out a wee bit more charitable side to yourself. So a kind of weird card this week because it's got warnings all over it, and it can be seen from so many angles, and that's the beauty of the tarot. So take the meaning for you within this week. You know, there's lots of aspects there. Instinctively, you'll know which one is for you. So let your intuition guide you, so that as you go through this, you've gone, yep, that's me, or yep, we don't need to do that. So many blessings. If you like the way I read the tarot, my book Tarot Novice to Pro in one book is by Colette Clairvoyant, is in all Amazons and Waterstones and marketplaces, mainly online now because it's been out 6 years, and that's the way it is. So give me a thumbs up if you like this week's weekly tarot. Not so much what it's saying, but the explanation, and I look forward to next week's weekly tarot card, and hopefully we'll get through this week in a very good and contented way. Many blessings now. Bye.